I was in the same position as you probably are if you clicked on this video. You have a good routine, a drive to learn, and a desire to fulfill, and yet, you have lost motivation. You've been in a dark tunnel and can't see the light at the end. Before I continue, let me remind you that it's not your fault. This is normal. But I'm not making progress towards my goal, or it seems to be taking longer than it should. Is that what you are thinking? Well, it doesn't matter, because the first step is always the same. Every effort you make towards your goal matters, even if you don't realize it. But let me tell you how to fix this problem, and if you ever need a reminder, just come back to this video. Save it for later. Because a loss of motivation is normal, but it doesn't have to be permanent. You will need to listen carefully to this next part, because I need something from you in order to make this work. Are you ready? Do I have your attention? Good, let's start. Let's first break down the components of good motivation into categories, using this framework to keep track of each category, starting with your attitude towards learning. Your attitude towards the learning process is just as important as the time you put in. Being positive and finding ways to increase positivity is the first step to motivation. There are many ways to achieve a positive outlook. Some people do it naturally, while others tend towards negativity. One potential solution is to get someone to encourage you. For now, let me try. Maybe you'll be positive after this video. Keep a diary of your progress. It doesn't have to be detailed or take much time. Just update it when you feel like you should. First, write where you started on your journey. Let me use language learning as an example since I am learning Japanese. I started with reading the language and simple greetings and words. Over time, I learned kanji, how to read longer, more difficult passages of text, and how to have simple conversations with native speakers. I improved. So did you with each step you took. It might not always be apparent, but you will notice your improvement, no matter how small, if you take the time to reflect and write updates on your progress. Feeling a little better? Because this is just the true start of your journey. You won't have any motivation if you don't have goals. What is your goal? Got it? Okay, write that down in this new diary. Now break it down even further. What steps or even smaller goals will you achieve to reach this larger goal? It doesn't matter how big or small this first goal is. Break it down. Think of at least 3 smaller goals to achieve. If they end up still being too big and you lose motivation, break it down again and again. No goal is too small. What matters is that you work towards it. Let's pause. You should know the progress you've made, and you have new goals. So now what? What ideas do you have to achieve these smaller goals? Research all the ways you can complete each step. What do you need to accomplish the first step? For my language learning example, I need to read, write, speak, and hear, while being able to incorporate multiple aspects at once. If I practice only one of these, I won't reach my overall goal. But each of these in themselves have many smaller goals that I am working towards. I use manga and websites to improve reading. I read kanji and sentences to improve writing. I talk with native speakers and to myself in Japanese to improve speaking. You get the picture. Keep searching and trying new things to work towards your goal. If you think you found something that works, keep with it, but continue exploring new avenues when you have the time. Make notes of what works and doesn't work for you in your diary. Don't let the positivity and motivation you've accumulated dissipate because of distractions. When you are in that mindset, a simple notification from your phone can sap that energy very quickly. Remove those distractions and focus on your goal. What is it again? Look at your diary. You need to find at least some joy in the learning process as well. Think about how you learn and what you like to do in your free time. Are there ways you can incorporate what you enjoy with the learning process? With Japanese, it's easy for me to learn from anime or video games. Reflect and write down some ideas. The learning process can be an exciting thing if you do this. We are almost there towards maintaining motivation, but we need one more thing, a reward. For each smaller goal accomplished, find a way to reward yourself. It can be anything, so long as you take the time to appreciate your efforts. You deserve it after all. A strong support group will remind you to keep going even when you don't have the strength to remind yourself. Remember, there are communities that exist for your desired learning subject. Find those with similar goals to gain support and support each other. Positive communities can strengthen the way we learn. Also remember to take breaks. Burning out from overstudying can be more detrimental to efficiency than taking your time with the learning process. With all these things in mind, what are you waiting for? Get out there and do it. And remember, if you need a motivational boost, this video will still be here to remind you that you can do it. But I'm not done yet. Let me tell you a personal story to paint the picture of how even the most dreadful of tasks can be the most rewarding in the end. I was a conservationist in my home state for a job. We were working to get rid of a terrible invasive plant that removes native plants, important for the ecosystem. This work was a classic dirty job, where I would get out there on a hot summer day in what was basically a humid bog full of mud and sharp, pointy objects. I operated equipment that overheated my body, and with each step to remove this plant, I had to pull my leg free from the bog. It was terrible, but I kept doing it. How did I stay motivated? I had hope and a goal. I made smaller goals for myself each time I refilled my gas canister. I'm going to clear this area, then eat lunch or have a break. That's what I thought. Little by little, progress was made due to the efforts being made. Then one day, the invasive plant was practically gone, and native plants were planted in their place. Now the area is recovering, and it's beautiful. But sometimes it doesn't work out, and if that happens, then do something else. This is the loop cycle that most people give up and lose motivation. They can't see the end they want to see, hit a wall, or just lose sight of their goal. Just remember the process we talked about. If you follow this framework, you will achieve success. Always search for new ideas. Always remind and reflect on what you've learned, and adapt when things don't work out. Now do your best, because you can do this.